มสาระความรู้ก่อนใครได้ที่ RSU Wisdom TV ทางระบบทีวีดาวเทียมหรือผ่านแอปพลิเคชัน RSU Wisdom TV ดาวน์โหลดแอปพลิเคชันได้ที่ Google Play และ App Store
Welcome back to ASEAN Challenge. Into ASEAN Interview this week, we speak to an expert in ASEAN law. With more developments happening around our ASEAN community, it's important to collaborate and defend against both the good and bad.
ค่ะกลับเข้าสู่รายการ ASEAN Challenge ค่ะซึ่งในช่วงนี้นะคะ ASEAN Interview เดี๋ยวเราจะไปพูดคุยกับประเด็นสำคัญต่างๆค่ะ
Let's go listen. Welcome back to the program. Into ASEAN Interview, we speak today to an expert in criminology and justice from Rangsit University. With the increase and development of the ASEAN community comes higher rates of crime, especially in the technological division. So joining us today to tell us more about the situation happening in the ASEAN community is Assistant Professor, Police Colonel Krisanaphong Poothakool, or Tong, to tell us more. Swadika. Thank you for joining us today on the show. So right now, the situation with ASEAN, so many countries are in the development phase, in democratization, and are really going full throttle towards development. But at the same time, the rise in crime rates, especially in technology, is a big issue. What are your thoughts on the situation so far?
Actually, we need to accept that cybercrime is now a big problem, not only in ASEAN community, but throughout the world. Why it's a big problem? Because, for example, now we have Facebook account. Everyone has an email address, so the offender, the hacker, can hack to Facebook or email address and use those account to transfer money from the IP address and IP account to another bank account. And that is only one example. And naturally now the FBI is quite concerned about the transnational and organized crime that link to ASEAN areas, ASEAN community.
Can you tell us a bit more about the current threat of cybercrime that we can visibly see around ASEAN?
Actually, about the new trend of cybercrime in ASEAN, it's quite to judge because different countries has different own data. Actually, we don't share our data yet in ASEAN community. However, the ASEAN countries agreed to set up cybercrime center at Singapore over the past few years. Why we need to set up this center? The idea is just to detect and prevent cybercrime like child pornography and fraud, financial crime, terrorism, and other serious crimes that links to other countries throughout the globe.
Wow, that's definitely a lot of progress with the Cybercrime Center in Singapore. Does that mean all ASEAN countries will share their data with Singapore at this division?
Yes. Actually, our ASEAN country try to develop the program, try to share the data that they have. However, as we know, not every country is ready for sharing cybercrime intelligence or sharing the data. It depends on their own management. It's hard to say. However, I think now Interpol is like the police of the ASEAN, try to encourage the ASEAN member to improve the system. I think it would be better soon.
Definitely
Hopefully.
looking forward to that ท่านผู้ชมคะทางอาจารย์นะคะบอกว่าในขณะนี้ด้วยความที่หลายประเทศอาเซียนได้ใช้โซเชียลมีเดียในการสื่อสารในการทำธุรกิจหรือว่าในการติดต่อกันข้ามประเทศเนี่ยเหตุการณ์ที่มีไซเบอร์ไครม์มันก็เพิ่มขึ้นเพราะฉะนั้นปัจจุบันนี้ประเทศอาเซียนก็จะค่อยๆเริ่มต้นแบ่งปันข้อมูลเพื่อที่จะแชร์กับศูนย์ที่กำลังตั้งขึ้นมาในประเทศสิงคโปร์นะคะเป็นเซ็นเตอร์ที่รวบรวมข้อมูลที่จะช่วยป้องกันเรื่องการก่อการร้ายหรือว่าไซเบอร์ไครม์หรือว่าไซเบอร์ไครม์ทั้งหมดเนี่ยนะคะในปัจจุบันนี้ก็นับว่าเป็นข่าวดีนะคะแล้วก็เป็นการพัฒนาแบบเรื่อยๆ So what are your thoughts on the current obstacles that many ASEAN countries still face in you could say fully cooperating with this cybercrime center?
To be honest, it's not full cooperation. Actually, we have a few key obstacles. One is the understanding of law enforcement agency. Sometimes they don't understand about the definition of cybercrime. They lack the knowledge how to prevent and how to detect cybercrime. And second key obstacle is that the private sector in general didn't give the idea how to didn't give the information to the government agency to stop the cybercrime on and also they don't share the information data that they have to the government agency.
Right.
So you can see the obstacle. These are two main obstacles at the moment. And I think we should analyze how we can develop and how we can remove all of these obstacles in order to fight against cybercrime in ASEAN community. I think the government agency like the police officer or the DSI Department of Special Investigation or other agency related to cybercrime cannot fight the internet crime alone. They need to get public support, like the public can inform the police directly by using the internet or by using their only email address, and it would be quicker to control the situation.
In terms of law enforcement, ASEAN law and regulations among ASEAN members are, you could say, made and agreed upon so that each country has its own regulations and each country kind of their rules and regulations are isolated from each other. So this kind of collaboration and cooperation is on a voluntary basis. So is that difficult to enforce because of that situation, that kind of sticky situation?
Yes, like I mentioned earlier, now we have a cybercrime center at Singapore,
Right.
established in Singapore, and we actually don't want to force the ASEAN member to agree with what we are going to do now, but we would like them to share and to learn, to exchange the data and cybercrime intelligence, how to control, how to prevent crime on the internet. Because as you know, it's not happen in Thailand or in ASEAN country, and it's quite often get most of the dangerous thing from the outside the ASEAN member. For example, transnational crimes happen in the US,
Right.
and once day it happened in Thailand. Recently, it's like a last Chapasong case. You can see the connection between transnational crime and internet crime. Yes.
Right, indeed. So recently, you also met in a very important meeting with ASEAN members and China to discuss issues of cybercrime. Were there any concrete outcomes that came out of that meeting that we can apply to our development of cybercrime?
Yes, I think for the meeting it was very useful. Basically, China is, as you know, China is a big country, right? China invited Thailand and ASEAN country and neighboring country like Nepal and Sri Lanka to join and to exchange the ideas how to prevent crimes, not only internet crime, but including organized crime, transnational crimes, and so on and so on. And then we can learn how to train the trainer, how to train young cadets at the academy, at the police training center, and then we can have close collaboration. All of these are very useful. It will, I think, in my opinion, in the longer term, it will improve policing system training, not only in Thailand but in ASEAN member and ASEAN country. Now we try to set up like at the center between ASEAN country and China and Nepal and Sri Lanka to share our own data and to share the cyber intelligence and to share lots of facility. China would be a big country to support the idea, to support the facility and lots of things.
Indeed. ท่านผู้ชมคะทางอาจารย์บอกว่าในขณะนี้ค่ะเรื่อง cybercrime เรื่อง transnational crime เนี่ยมันเป็นปัญหาไม่ใช่ระดับประเทศแล้วไม่ใช่แค่ระดับอาเซียนเท่านั้นแต่เป็นทั่วโลกเพราะฉะนั้นปัจจุบันนี้ก็ได้รับการร่วมมือจากประเทศจีนแล้วก็ประเทศอื่นๆอย่างเช่นอเมริกาด้วยซ้ำไปเพราะว่าปัจจุบันนี้โลกเราก็เล็กลงเพราะฉะนั้นเราต้องมีการรวบรวมพลังกำลังของไม่ใช่แค่ private sector แต่ว่าทั้งเจ้าหน้าที่เช่นกันเพราะฉะนั้นปัจจุบันนี้ก็มีการพัฒนาให้เจ้าหน้าที่ได้ทำงานคล่องขึ้นในการป้องกันเรื่อง cybercrime. So in your thoughts at the moment, how is the development, the progress in tackling cybercrime right now after the center has been built, after more police are being trained, law enforcement officials are being, you could say, educated on the situation? Can we see the difference so far?
So in my opinion, I think we need to develop more things. We need to educate people. We need to educate children how to use internet safely. Sometimes the parents, guardians don't really understand about the internet crime situation, and they let their own children use the internet alone. And sometimes children took some picture and downloaded into the internet.
Right.
And then those pictures can be misused by the offender, like a child victim,
Right.
child pornography.
There are always two sides to the coin. On one hand, the internet is used for very efficient development and education,
Yes.
but on the other hand, in the wrong kind of area, with the wrong perspective, and with the wrong people, it can turn sour as well.
Yes, of course, both the positive and negative ways in
Right.
everything, right? Another thing, I think we need to educate the officer. We need to educate them how to detect internet crime and how to prevent all of these crime related to transnational and organized crime. And also, I think the government need to spend more money to support all of what we are talking about: internet crime, transnational crime, terrorism. Why? Because it involves with public disorder. Yes.
Right. ท่านผู้ชมคะอาจารย์บอกว่าในขณะนี้สิ่งที่สำคัญมากในการป้องกันไม่ให้เกิดเหตุการณ์ crime, cyber crime, transnational crime ที่รุนแรงก็คือการ education ก็คือการศึกษาไม่ใช่แค่สำหรับนักธุรกิจหรือว่าผู้ที่ใช้อินเทอร์เน็ตนะคะแต่ว่าเด็กๆด้วยเพราะว่าบางทีเราไม่ทราบว่าภาพที่โหลดใน Facebook หรือว่าในโซเชียลมีเดียอาจจะปรากฏในจอของผู้ก่อการร้ายก็ได้เพราะฉะนั้นการศึกษานี่เป็นเรื่องที่สำคัญมากไม่ใช่แค่เด็กแล้วก็นักธุรกิจแต่ก็ law enforcement official หรือว่าเจ้าหน้าที่เช่นกัน So currently do you think that what is your perspective so far in how the government is tackling this problem in Thailand, for example? Is the government taking action?
I think just that the government try to remove all key obstacles that we are discussing, but it's quite difficult to solve this problem in a short period of time. And the current government, as we know, from military, and that term will be ended by maybe by next year, and we are going to have a new government, and the policy need to be continued. Not only this government, the current government, but the next government and the next one.
Right.
Why? Because now the internet crimes tend to be increased dramatically, and can we imagine what happened about the next maybe 5 years and 10 years? It tend to be more and more.
That's right.
So we need to educate more people. We need to spend more money to stop, or we cannot stop, but we to prevent and to how to fight against all of this crime on the internet. Yes, we need to learn and educate young people, educate the trainer.
Right, and so far each different country and around ASEAN is doing their thing. Everyone is taking their own approaches. Is there a roadmap that we could see for the short term, medium term, and long term? Right now we're seeing the short term, the medium term. What about the long term?
Actually, like I said, like I mentioned previously, we set up Interpol.
Right.
We have a cybercrime center in Singapore. They all, I mean, the ASEAN country agreed to set up the center, and then we need to share more information, more data. However, like I said, the threat of crimes is quite more serious.
Right.
And the situation is quite changed dramatically over the past 5 years. And it's hard to say in the longer term. We need to talk at the international level, not only the Thailand alone. The Thailand need to work closely with Singapore, with Myanmar, with Cambodia, and also in Europe and in the US and the UK. Why? Because as I said earlier, transnational crime, not only in ASEAN, right?
Given the obstacles, do you feel optimistic about the rate at which the cybercrime fighters are moving?
Yes, of course. I think law enforcement who are dealing with internet crime try to learn the pattern of cybercrime. However, budget support is crucial thing. What they can do if they don't have the money, and where the money come from the government, right?
Right.
And also our local authority and local people, local community should pay more attention on internet crime to get more to work closely with the government agency.
Right, indeed. And last but not least, do you have any advice for our growing users of the internet on how we can use the internet wisely to avoid trouble?
Of course, I think the people in general should be aware of internet crime, cybercrime. They should use internet in a positive way, not hack to the Facebook account or email address, or if other people realize someone is going to do this, please send a message or please call the police. And also I think we need to have a complaint system to get to receive all data from the public. I can say the world is smaller because of the internet, but internet crime seem to be bigger.
Right,
in
indeed.
terms of the problems.
Indeed. Thank you very much for that ท่านผู้ชม
Thank you.
คะอาจารย์บอกว่าปัจจุบันนี้โลกเราก็เล็กลงนะคะเพราะว่าอินเทอร์เน็ตช่วยเรื่องการสื่อสารให้มันคล่องขึ้นแต่ในเวลาเดียวกันอินเทอร์เน็ตก็ขยายใหญ่ขึ้นเพราะฉะนั้นทุกคนต้องใช้วิจารณญาณในการใช้อินเทอร์เน็ตในทางที่ถูกต้องแล้วก็ดีแล้วก็ transparent เพื่อที่จะป้องกันไม่ให้ cybercrime เกิดขึ้นแล้วก็ไม่มีส่วนเกี่ยวข้องใน cybercrime เช่นกันซึ่งที่สำคัญก็คือเริ่มจากการศึกษาแล้วก็การรวบกำลังแล้วก็ cooperate กับ authority เช่นกันนะคะ Thank you very much for your insight today อาจารย์ and we have a lot more insight in how to work with internet and use it mindfully.
Okay, thank you.
And that was Asean Interview for today. Thanks for tuning in. Back to the studio. And thank you very much for those insights into ASEAN law, criminology, and cybercrime. And that wraps up the show for this week. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again very soon next week. For now, สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ